Hello out there. Just wanted to give a video here, because I know we've been going back and forth with texts. So just kind of want to give you the little story, the rundown of what I've been doing the last few years. It started when I went to Thailand. I'm 38 years old, and I've never been married, don't have any kids. And I've always looked for love, but not had any good luck with American girls. Um, so I went to Thailand and I met this girl named Roshita. I was there for 30 days. We hung out the entire time and got really close. And we stayed in contact after I had left. And I hadn't went to Thailand for a long time, a couple of years. I'd supposed to went back. I have found out that she was a working girl and over there, and so that kind of put a distrust in my mind about her. So ended up a couple years after that I went to the Philippines, and my dad is actually married to a Filipina himself. So I went over there and I actually went for a dental procedure. And I went over there and got on the dating sites and started meeting girls, and going on dates. So I ended up meeting this girl named Junalyn, which I had proposed to her before I had left. I had actually proposed to Roshita as well, but not officially. But I had bought a ring and everything for Junalyn. I surprised her, and my plans were to marry her shortly after I got back to the United States. And while we were talking, she was only 18 years old. And while we were talking, she just really, really got very jealous and very suspicious of me, and thinking I'm talking to other girls and wanting my Facebook password and all this, that, and that. So, anyways, she ended up marrying somebody from Norway. So, I ended up going back to the Philippines the following year. And I ended up, but the entire time that I was, before I went to the Philippines, after I had broken up with Junalyn, I started talking to a girl named Judy online on Facebook, that I had met her on Facebook. So we had talked, and for a couple months before I went to Philippines, we lost contact. She stopped writing me. We didn't talk. So I ended up going there. I met a girl named Johanna, and I met a girl named Laura Scene. I went out with Laura Scene for a few dates, but she was busy with school and didn't get a hold of me anymore. I really liked her a lot, but it seemed like she was too busy. So I ended up meeting Johanna. I had actually went on the dating site and saw her profile, like a different profile. Looked like she was still on the dating site after were hanging out. I wasn't too into Johanna. We were more friends, but I really, I was still dating her, but she liked me a little more than I liked her. I ended up meeting this girl named Glyden, and I started dating her, and I went to pick her up, or she went to meet me, and I went to go, pick her up wherever she got dropped off from the cab and bring her back to my place. And as I'm walking up, I'm seeing her have all these text messages with the cab driver that she had rode with, and she quickly erased them. So I told her what's all that about, and stressed that, that was not going to make me trust her. She started crying and telling me it was nothing. But that really kind of tainted my trust for her. And a few other things, it just didn't seem like she was in it for the right reasons. So I planned a trip to Cebu, and I was talking to Judy's brother. I found Judy's brother online, and I started talking to him, and I told him that I was going to come see Judy. So he gave me directions all the way up into the deep province of Asturias in Cebu to go and meet Judy. So I went on this long journey through the province, and I showed up in this very tiny home in the middle of the deep province, and Judy was there. So we ended up I ended up meeting Judy. I stayed in a little hotel made like a makeshift hotel there in this little town, and I stayed there for a week. I didn't hook up with Judy or nothing like that, and I found out that Judy was only 17. So I said, well, we can hang out, we can talk, but we'll have to wait until you get of age for us to get married or be intimate or anything like that. So one night, Judy's brother saw that I had given Judy a phone to use, and was erasing some pictures and text messages that I had was speaking with some other ladies on there, and I didn't want her to get this phone and find all these messages or whatever from other chats. So he saw this, and he told Judy that she shouldn't trust me. And while we were hanging out that night, Glyden had actually called this phone that I had given to Judy and talked to Judy for an hour while I was sleeping. Told her that she was my girlfriend. So Judy broke down, and she lost trust in me. And so, because I thought that me and Judy were going to be, I was in April when she turned 18, I was going to marry her, and we were going to have a good life together. So I actually went back to Glyden after that, and we spent Christmas together, and we had just struggled to keep this trust thing in wraps, and I kind of fell out of love with her because I was really in love with Judy. So after I got back to the United States, I got back in contact with Lorcine, which I really had liked Lorcine a lot, and we had went on a few dates, but she never contacted me, and she didn't have time to hang out. So I had been talking to Lorcine, and I've actually been developing a good relationship with her. We've got plans to be together and get married and all this stuff. So also while I was in Philippines and I was meeting Johanna and Glyden, I had talked with this girl named Heidi, and we had never met, but we kept in contact, and we've been video chatting a lot lately, just because Lorcine, sometimes she'll go a few days without contacting me, so she's really wanting to wait until I get there. I don't think she believes that I'm coming back, but I am. The coronavirus has really put a damper on tourists coming to the Philippines, but I think they're going to open up in June. I'm thinking June 1st. So I was waiting. I was going to go to Costa Rica in the next few days, but I wanted to see if the Philippines was open. They're talking about it may not be open. It may not be open for a while. They've only got 1% of the people vaccinated there. So I was going to go to Costa Rica, but fingers crossed that I can go back to the Philippines. And I was going to, see Lorcine, and also possibly see Heidi. Glyden is actually getting married now, so I've just had nothing but bad luck when it comes to finding love. But I'm optimistic, and I hope that I will find it eventually. I just wanted to come on here and make a video to let you know that I'm not some crazy guy that's just dating all these people. I've had good intentions. It's just been kind of bad luck. I probably should have married Junalyn when I was over there, but I kind of wanted to see where it went, and she was just very immature, so I'm kind of glad I didn't. But I kind of regret it too. She was very beautiful, and she was super into me. But anyway, that wraps it up, and just wanted to let you know my story. Hopefully, I'm an avid watcher of 90 Day Fiance. I love that show, and I got the call from you guys, and I contacted you about it, and can see what happens. Thanks, guys. Peace.